Now, that was the good use of AI. Let me talk about some increasingly questionable uses of AI, really some ethically controversial choices. This one talked about some videos that talked on YouTube about how to create a faceless YouTube channel. Faceless means, in that context, that you have a channel that has information on it, but no person appearing in the video. So you don't, like when I make my videos, obviously you see I have a little face in the corner, which I can move around if necessary. And I don't normally go full screen or anything like that, like a lot of people do, but I don't normally do that. The idea is to make a faceless channel, and even to make it so the voiceover can either be you, or in fact, you could generate a script and then have a fake person read it, an avatar or whatever. And there were a bunch of them that were talking about, okay, this is all a profitable niche, so let's really use the AI tools here. And what it did is it said, first of all, one of the videos I watched is like, okay, let's find out what we're going to make videos about. And it's search for profitable YouTube niches. I mean, like, they didn't even care what they were making videos about. They just wanted to know the ones that made money. And got a list and got a bigger list, and then said, well, okay, all those top level ones are going to be big and they're going to be filled. So try to narrow it down and look for sub niches in there. And one of them did at least say, try to pick one you care about, but some of them weren't even that clear. They just went for whatever they could find. And then they said, hey, ChatGPT, give me 10 video ideas for this tiny little sub niche, and it would spit out 10 ideas. And then it would say, okay, for this particular video idea, generate a script for a short video. And it would. And the one they were doing, and I'm not showing it here, but the one I was watching was about, they came up with personal finance, and that was too big an area. So they actually narrowed it down to getting out of debt. And they came up with like 10 ideas there, and one of them was a personal story about getting out of debt. So it had the developer had ChatGPT generate a script for that and change the I to a Jane, just somebody's name, and then went to Canva and made some pictures that satisfied this, and just grabbed stock photos of a woman who's going to be presumably Jane in this scenario, and created the channel assets and the banner image and a watermark and everything and a thumbnail. And then they uploaded the script. Now, this person I was watching actually read it themselves, but one person was just saying, no, we'll just upload to this site where you can pick an avatar and pick a voice, and they'll narrate it for you, and then upload the resulting video to YouTube. And of course, where's the money going to come from? In order to make money on YouTube, you need 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours, the 4,000 watch hours in the last year. So that's not going to happen quickly. Instead, they were saying you register with affiliate marketing sites so that you can recommend certain items. And if even 0.1% of people click through, then if you get enough views, that turns out to be a lot of money. Now, that's a gamble, right? I mean, what if nobody clicks on it? See, this is what happened with Amazon Kindle, is that it became so easy for AI tools to generate worthless Kindle books that people would generate 50, 100 books, maybe 200, upload them, and then sit back and wait for the royalties to roll in. And the result is you just swamped Kindle's library with worthless books that nobody ever bought. I suspect that's what's going to happen here too, although we'll see. Now, the really blatant one, the one that was the worst, was the one that said, oh, okay, what really makes money on YouTube? And it turned out they figured out it was personal interviews with celebrities, especially if they were controversial people. So this person found an interview with some right-wing crazy person, who was apparently rather well known, and they didn't care about the politics or what was being said. All they cared was that it got a lot of views. So what they did is they said, well, I want to make little clips of this and make a YouTube channel that just features tiny little clips from these other interviews. And I even can put a reference back to the original interview. And I'm like, wow, this is terrible. And then they went on and said, well, I don't want to listen to this whole hour and a half interview to pick the clips, but generally the people who put up the channel will do that for you. And he found that they had like already 3 or 4 minute sub clips of the overall interview with those stories. So he would grab one of those clips and he'd run it through another tool where he could download it and then cut out all the spaces and shorten it down to about a minute or something, really get it down to the essence there, and upload that and put some clickbaity title on it. And his entire channel was a series of clips of interviews from lots of other people. I mean, what was his contribution? His contribution was to figure out what to cut out just to get it down to this tiny little clip. But it was everything was everybody else's work. I mean, it just was really appalling, I thought, and there was a total lack of awareness that this was not necessarily an ethical thing to do. But, if there's money to be made, his big sale point of all of this was that if you get the right affiliate marketing and you could advertise some of these items and you get people to click through, you can make millions. And money pressures will make otherwise ethical people act unethically, and to say nothing of what it does for people who are unethical to begin with. So, of course, what's going to happen, presumably, is the same thing that happened to Amazon's Kindle library, is that there will be thousands and thousands of YouTube channels that nobody will ever watch, that'll just become garbage. And YouTube, the good stuff, can get overwhelmed with this spammy type stuff. And we'll see. At any rate, I'm not going to do that. I mean, even though, of course, you see the numbers and you start getting tempted, it's like, no. I can't produce things I don't care about. I have to care about it or I'm just not going to be interested. So I thought I'd show you that because it came up a lot this week. And let's move on to the next section.